long considered to be an urban legend. Tunnels that have now been found in 2015. The Puebla Tunnels. Tunnels that are high enough that a person can easily ride through on horseback, extending more than 10 kilometers or 6.21 miles. And we know that there are more. All just found in 2015 under the Mexican city. Long considered to be an urban legend, a myth. These myths don't seem so mythical after all, where it states that things were found trapped in the mud flood, just like we've talked about so many times. Finding these tunnels in 2015 and then blocking them all off from the public so that the city could renovate the system and finally open it all up in 2017. What happened in that 2-year renovation project? And why did they feel the need to block the public off from these sites, from these projects? Even to this day, they are still doing this. We know that this is to protect the mainstream narrative. We know this. If the narrative was true, there would be nothing to hide. Remember when I say this: preservation, protection, conservation. We are just getting started. These episodes are in order for a reason. What if the tunnels that we have found are all hallways, all leading to so much more? The network of tunnels had been covered for decades, and the archaeologists who unearthed the tunnels discovered antiques in the mud. Is this not exactly what we've been talking about? This is incredible. A worldwide event took place. There is no doubt about it anymore. Wiping out the previous civilization, resetting us to the beginning, around the 17 and 1800s, 100%. With this previous civilization, a very advanced group of people being here where we all live today, not as far back as we all think or have been told. I believe this previous civilization was here, what we think of as the 14 and 1500s, with many Mexican cities having legends about secret tunnels all lying beneath the streets, just like we see in every single city in the world. Finding it in 2015 and now saying that they opened it in 2016. But we just saw that they said in 2017. Come on, Mexico, get your story straight. Where now they just pinned down the date of 1531, all by asking the local goat. Incredible. No, tunnels. Where else do we see tunnels? Where do these tunnels always connect to? And why? 4 separate entrances to the tunnel were found, connecting directly to the church. Tunnels connecting to the church yet again, where we are about to turn this thing up a notch. The Los Remedios Church. I'm going to stop for a second and ask you all, how long do you think that this took them to build? How many years do you think that it took them to build this thing? This is the inside of the church that is connected to the tunnel that they just found in 2015. How long do you think this took to build? How long would it take us to build today? You know what? Let's ask their AI, ChatGPT, how long this would take to construct today. It would depend on several factors, and here is the estimate. According to the AI, using advanced construction methods today, it would take 2 to 5 years to construct the exterior of the dome structure. It would take an additional 2 to 3 years to complete the detailed, intricate interior design. So 4 to 8 years total, with modern advanced construction methods. But if we use traditional methods, using the tools that they had at the time, it would take us, the supposed evolved and advanced group with training and everything, 10 to 15 years or more to complete this church. This structure was constructed from 1574 to 1575, 1 year. And according to the ChatGPT, this is impressive, but not unheard of. And then tells us that this is a smaller, simpler church during that time. This is crazy. Again, May of 1574 to August 1575. It's done. And we also know that the tunnels connect to the lower levels of this structure. They tell us that this church was constructed in 1575. Let's pretend that this is true for 1 second. And the tunnels were constructed in 1531. This means that once again, the church was constructed on top of the tunnels. How much do you want to bet that these tunnels are actually catacombs? I believe that we have a very clear understanding of how these catacombs work. We have episode 72. We have episode 78 and episode 92, all for reference. They connect to the churches. We've seen where they connect to schools, as well as Capitol buildings. We have seen this so many times, in so many different countries, including episode 85. And did I mention that the base on which the church is built is one of the largest pyramids of the old world? The pyramid is under this church, meaning that there is so much more under the ground in this location. The pyramid is 177 feet high, covering 54 acres, and shaped by several superimposed structures. This is incredible. The old world was extremely powerful, and their construction is still here, all over the world. This pyramid is under the church, and it's larger in volume than the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. This is the Great Pyramid of Cholula. This is the largest pyramid by volume in the entire world that we've found so far underneath the dirt. And if you're having fun so far, please subscribe and hit that like button. Now let's keep going. Under the grass and trees, right here, we have the biggest pyramid in the world, as well as a tunnel network. And the church on top of it was built in a year. This research is unbelievable and needs to be shown to the world with an incredible picture right here, showing just how big this thing really is. Could you even imagine if they took this layer of grass off this thing? What that would expose. And I believe that we have just tripped up the mainstream narrative. We have exposed that this is a lie. Are you ready? Remember, we are told that the tunnels were constructed before the church. We know that the tunnels connect to the church, meaning that the builders of the church were well aware of what was underneath the church from the beginning of its construction, all according to the story that they're telling us. And now they are telling all of us that the Spanish didn't realize that there was a pyramid under the grass when they built the church on top, where we all know that this couldn't be further from the truth. Telling us that they just found this pyramid in 1910, where workers uncovered some of the pyramid's ancient structures. A fabricated narrative, 100%. We have now exposed this forever. A massive lie to all of us. This 1910 date was the date that our civilization found the old world pyramid. Everything before this date, the narrative that we are told about this site, is pure fiction. We have been lied to in every single country. These stories are just that. They are stories for adults. We all know that lies fall apart in a second, and they always will. In the early 1930s, knowledge about the Great Pyramid was scarce. Exploration began in 1931, our timeline, and after 25 years, they located the 8 kilometers of tunnels and then excavated them, which ultimately enabled the discovery of the 7 superimposed pyramids. This structure was not constructed in 1 year in the 1500s. These tunnels extend so much further than what we're being told. And all of this is being discovered in our timeline today. Within the last 200 to 300 years, what we are doing right now is showing this to the public. The finders have been finding these structures, these sites, for the last 200 to 300 years, and then giving us these stupid stories, this narrative that a child would never believe after laying it all out. where these episodes are all possible, thanks to our sponsors, our Patreon members, our badge members, and every single subscriber. We are just getting started today, and we will be exposing a necropolis, a city of the dead, all supposedly carved into the hillside in southern Turkey. Welcome to episode 106 of My Lunch Break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? I recently saw a video he just made. I was shocked. He's in his 80s and still kicking butt and working out and staying active. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and then has plenty of energy left for his grandkids. He did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says that she feels 10 years younger. Her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/lunch, or just by clicking the link below this video. It's gonna change the way you think about your health, I promise. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/lunch. Click on the link in the description below to watch the video now. You will not believe how simple this is. Just a reminder, the legendary Chuck Norris is a whopping 84 years old and yet has more energy than me. He discovered he could create dramatic changes to his health simply by focusing on 3 things that sabotage our bodies as we age. Watch this method by clicking the link in the description box below. chuckdefense.com/lunch. And I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app. I'll put the link right in the description. And you can use my referral code, MLB. If you click the Tartaria button, you'll see the My Lunch Break playlist right here. The app is awesome. Thank you to Rebecca K, The Lady Lacey Show, David and Sherry Ferguson, Edwin Johnson, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, Stephanie Nolan, The Burlesons, Edwin Rice, Helmut, Charles Kruger, Don Gaston, Dan Woodall, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Edward and Brianna, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, Kyle Glasscock, PKTFnews.org, Ben Dries NL, Natalie Shippenoff, Amberson EMC, HK Sue, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Clayton Lamar, Noble Task Homestead, John Adams, Robert Zozolins, Rick Tapkey, Blake, Billy Prater, The Phoenix Art, The Arnolds, Attila Power, VKH Bonner, Bell's Clarions for God, Forbidden Gecko Love, Justin Grobner Grubb, Leah Strong, Peter Batani, Dakota Dunn, Eric Martinez, Ivan Apoctoli, Jim Bro, EdgarT-shirts.com, Meta, Jason Hochberg, Marie C, ValleyMedicinals.com, Kyle Logan, Alina and Chris the IT Guy, Michael Dingu, Patriot Armory, Tom O'Hara, Michael D. Connor, C3SCOB, Ancient Tallow, Jeffrey Temple, SonyaDane.com, James Alt, Bucksui, Jason Prest, Suki Warrior, We the People, Migs, Miss Rex's Murphy, Mark Chapman, Muji and DeClan, Ariana Oates, Ethan Burba, Ski, Codrenth, The Sovereign, Beacon of Truth, Liberty's Arborist, Thomas Thorpe Peterson, Zinger Coffee and Tea, Natasha C, K Moore, DevlinMcGregor.com, Miss Fox, Diamond Jewel, David Rauschenbach, Emily Maryland, Felipe, Curious Cat, Mike D, etc., Dan McGee, Lori Hedvig Johnson, Terry, Paraplegic Coffee, Ellie Annie, Ivan Apoctoli, Seth Craigo, D Woods, Glenn Gunderson, Mousie's Mouse Cheese Records, James Vincent, Robert's Brain is Gone, Extreme Reality Check, Anna and Marley Valdez, Wayne T, Late for Dinner, Wanakar Camo, Paolo Goncalves, G Power, Jesse De Leon, Andrea J. Kerrigan, Janet Elizabeth, Dr. Mom, Penn Patriot, Ducks, MDFTFV, Rod Wah, Kim Lusada, William Richard Jeffries V, Checkmate, Robert Petro, Dylan Mugenberg, Leonard Insalaco, Martha Wooten, Suez KC, Papa One, Frizz Tickle, Cats Hill, Bruce Latour, Yark 143, Dax Bilchek and Son, Doc Halo, Henry's Mom, Vince Moreno, Shibba Shaba in the Darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. Now, before we expose the necropolis in Turkey, I want to say a few more things about this pyramid in Mexico. Why haven't they removed the grass from this thing? Why is it still covered up to this day? Why is this thing still covered up with grass? We are told that they leave the grass on the biggest pyramid in the world due to preservation. And I want you to remember this for next week. Preservation. Telling us that the grass and the plants all help protect the pyramid. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's a joke. Taking the grass off and exposing it to the world could destabilize it. This is insane. And the grass that you can all see in your yard or at a park, this is the reason, the grass, that it attracts visitors worldwide. Keeping the grassy appearance preserves the historic character of the site. No, it does not. Can you see clearer than ever before? Can you see what's happening? And can you see what's happened for so long? This isn't the Monk's Mound in southern Illinois, where we all know that there's a temple under the grass, but they aren't fully admitting it yet. This is completely different. We all know that the biggest pyramid in the world is right under the grass. We know that there's a tunnel network right under here. And we know that they connect to this church. Yet they leave the grass all for protection. Protection. Again, we are just getting started. Next Saturday, we are going to expose this and begin a brand new series, and I cannot wait. Now, I think that this location in Myra might be the most unbelievable thing that I've actually seen. I can't even imagine going to this location and seeing it in person. This is so obviously a melted palace, now giving off the appearance of being a mountain that the people of the 4th century BCE were just over there in Turkey carving palaces directly into the rock cliff. They had their chisels ready to go. Where this practice had been going on even earlier, around the 5th century BCE, all of this was figured out by Sir Charles Fellows. When in the 1840s, our timeline yet again, Fellows was just right over here at this point, and he climbed up this cliff, and then he smacked his head so hard in the 1840s and just came up with the date -400. Tell me how odd it is that Fellows can just wake up one day in the 1840s. He can go over to this site and then pin down the date -400. This story is so ridiculous. Nobody's doing that in the 1840s. This story should be dismissed at this point, 100%. Now, this site reminds me so much of Syria. They have a ton of similarities, as if they went to the same school of Donkey's Stone Palace Construction University, all established in the year -904. I promise that happened. In all seriousness, look at the bottom of this so-called mountain. It literally has massive stone blocks, and as you go up, they are literally melted. Look at this. Seating 13,000 people, a necropolis, where we all know what a necropolis is at this point. A cemetery, especially a large one, belonging to an ancient city. This is a cemetery, a necropolis. We are not allowed to walk around the rock tombs, where I bet you can go deeper inside, which is exactly why they're not allowing us to enter them. I bet that it would expose that this is no random hill. Just like we saw in Mexico, I bet the pyramid is incredible and has so much more going on inside of it. It's not just a few tunnel hallways. We know this. They lead to so much more. Turkey has some incredible places, like we've shown. So traveler Charles Fellow finds all of this in the 1840s, where they are still colorfully painted, red, yellow, and blue. What else did he find? Because we can see, within the last 200 years, all of the color is gone. Yet we are told that it was still colorful in the 1840s. We are also told that they were constructed in the negative 400s. So for 2,240 years, the color lasts perfectly. And then 200 years, all of the color is gone. How does this make sense at all? It doesn't. Let's take a minute and thank all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber, and everybody who likes the episodes. You are all awesome and helping grow this channel to so many new people every single week. Right when you hit that button, I can see it in real time, showing this information to people that never would have seen this site. We are on YouTube, Rumble, X, Instagram, TikTok, Rockfin, and Spotify, where the exact number of bodies in this necropolis is unknown, because many of the tombs since the 1840s have been damaged, looted, and left unexplored over the centuries, estimating that the amount is likely in the hundreds. What was destroyed here? What has been removed? And what is still here that is off limits to the public? All of us. In 2009, archaeologists detected an ancient city using ground-penetrating radar that reveals anomalies. They found buildings, and we all know they found so much more. Finding buried structures, yet again, just like we saw in Chicago in episode 80, finding a chapel from the old world, the previous civilization, identifying hidden structures, incredible detail, all from a supposed pathetic community. And all of our mainstream lovers, they want to tell us all about the earthquake from the year 141. And this earthquake just destroyed the theater. Who believes this anymore? It's crazy. Just pinning down the date 141, saying that there was an earthquake, and yeah, that's the earthquake that destroyed the theater. This is ridiculous. It's so insane to believe at this point. Take a look at this picture. Look at these two things over here on the right. How naturally forming does this look to you? Without a doubt, one of the most incredible places that I've ever seen. I wish that I could go inside and see how far into this so-called mountain it really goes. I also wish that I could remove the grass on top of that pyramid in Mexico. I wish we could go in the tunnels, under the church. I wish that we could see it all. The fact that we are blocked off, the fact that it is hidden from us, this is the clear giveaway. This exposes that the mainstream narrative is not transparent at all. Their restoration work is hidden from all of us. Time and time again, we are all blocked off from the truth. And I believe that gives it all away. Do not forget what I just said. And don't forget all of the times that we have seen that something is off limits to us, all due to preservation, conservation, and to protect an old world site, as well as old world items. This is the beginning. We are just getting started. Next week, episode 107 will be incredible. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. See ya.